How was the split between the sales on Amazon compared to other sites like Walmart or the website?
So understanding what your customer base is, that's important.
What are the channels that you use to build the community?
You can't be coming in as a brand talking about, why your product is the best.
Situation where they can't grow the organic side.
So if you're not testing your creatives every single month, then you're losing out on conversions.
What can sellers do within Amazon in order to optimize for the AI?
What people are searching for in Alexa and making sure that you have that in the descriptions of your product.
And on the inventory side, will you stock up in FBA and use MCF?
Ecom Squeezed podcast.
Welcome back to Ecom Squeezed. I'm your host, Sebastian, founder of Retail-Outsource. And today we got a special guest. She have done all in e-commerce, built and sold a brand, scaled a men's grooming brand to 8 figures on Amazon and beyond, and now helps brand around the world crack the US market. Beatrice is the CEO of Men First, founder of Econ Therapy, and one of the sharpest mind in the Amazon world. She won a hack series as well recently. So yeah, so she what I'm saying, she's top mind. So welcome to the show, Beatrice.
Thank you so much, Sebastian, for helping me, for having me. So I'm very excited to speak.
Great. So my first question, you have launched Men First, right, in 2019. So you have experience, you have exited some business previously, and you have good experience on how to start and scale the business. So is there any specific framework that was in your mind? Okay, I'm going to do exactly this and this and this for the launch of Men First. This is specific for Amazon.
Yeah, well, I launched in 2019, which was great. So and it was right before COVID, and my product was actually a very COVID appropriate product. But people sometimes ask me, so what's your story? How did you get into the men's grooming business where you're a woman? Like what do you know about that? And then I usually start with the story. Well, my husband was feeling a little bit insecure. He had white hair and there wasn't any products out there in the market that, that would be suitable for him. And then that's why I came up with Men First. But that's not the story. The real story is that I did like prior research on what product was in demand and where there weren't that many competitors. I wanted to get into the niche of subscription model. That was important for me. I wanted to find a product that you would see a difference if you stop using it. And I wanted something that was sort of in the impulse buy. So products under the $20 range would usually activate that. So after, it took me a good year to to develop this product and finding, the solutions for the product and really doing the product category research on it, where, there weren't that many competitors in the space when I first launched. Now, of course, there is, but that was sort of my initial thing before, bringing any type of product in the e-commerce space, is understanding what that competition is. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Ringing on my sorry about that, and it's probably gonna keep on calling. But yeah, so understanding what it is about the product, what the market is, and what the availability is for that.
Great. And you mentioned about the subscription model. Is that something that carries a lot of weight, when you made this selection or specific category?
100%. That carries a lot of weight. It's extremely important because then your acquisition cost per customer, you have more flexibility of that because that customer is going to stay with you for a lot longer with the subscription. So if you're able to get them on the hook first, maybe offer them like a bigger discount up front. Once they use the product, they're going to stay with you for a while. So that's sort of the best. One of the best niches to get in is if you're able to get a product that they're going to always need it. So absolutely.
So how was the split between the sales on Amazon compared to, other sites like Walmart or the website?
So my Amazon sales is about 70% of my sales compared to my D2C.
Okay. And in terms of subscription, do you normally use, the subscribe and save, or do you use any specific tools to, to build that customer base?
Yeah, there's the thing with what I found with men. specifically is that they're a little bit hesitant of doing like a subscription. So
Yeah, poor on commitment.
there's ways that you can sort of like push them to do the subscribe and save, but it has to be done like in a subtle way where they first like trust the product, they're happy with it, they don't want to be forced to subscribe and save. So a lot of times there's a lot of websites that you feel like you're buying something but you're actually subscribing to it, so you want to like shy away from those strategies that they have. But it's definitely, about keeping them happy and making sure that they understand that they're using their product, and sometimes even inserting like a little gift for them. So I think that a lot of our subscribers do like that, and then they're part of like the Men First Club, and then within that they'll get access to priority launches, they'll get access to priority promotions on products that they're not subscribed to. So it's not just the subscription, but there's like these little added benefits to it.
Like it's like a mini Prime with a lot of
Yes.
perks added. Oh, that's very nice model. And you have shared a case study taking on a European skincare brand. I think I saw this on your LinkedIn,
Hmm.
and you scaled them from 0 to 1.2 million on Amazon was in 12 months. So what are the steps that you have taken, from the market research
Sure.
to the launch?
So, first of all, the product needs to be good. So, when I
Okay.
talk to international brands and they're looking to launch here in the US, number one is start with three products. What are your three best selling products in your country? And let's start with those. Because a lot of times, what ends up happening is that a lot of these brands, they just want to bring everything here, and they want to have all. So, I'm like, let's test the market, let's see what it is. And then we could baby step grow from that, because if your product is selling extremely well in your country, that means that the quality is good, the product is good. But then again, the marketing in the US is completely different than the marketing in Europe, than the market in Brazil. So you need to understand the clients that you're going to be serving here and understand your communication style as well. So understanding what your customer base is, that's important. And then also, if you're able to create a community or engage with community that's going to probably like to buy your product before you launch, that is helpful as well. So if you start, maybe creating blogs about a specific product that you want, really engaging people about, what your product can be here in the US, that's important as well. And creating that buzz before you officially launch in the US is very important as well.
Great. And you mentioned, Beatrice, about building the community, right? So what are the channels that you use to build that community?
So for Men First, I started building my community within products that target older men. So it would be, like anti-aging cream products, anti-aging testosterone also would help. So then I would you would become active in these posts within these communities. Because if you go into Facebook groups, you'll find them. So you're able to
Yeah.
find Facebook groups of men 50 plus and older. And then you'll start engaging with this community and then sort of talking to them. Hey, I'm looking to launch product A, B, C, and D. Would some of you be interested in this? And then sort of collaborate them, bringing them into your own Facebook group and sort of working with them in that aspect. And then slowly rolling out some ideas that you have. So that's one way that you could engage with these, communities before you officially launch. But then again, it's like, it takes work. So you have to be there
Yeah.
like every single day posting. You have to be engaging. You have to, create your own Facebook group and then start inviting people to your Facebook group that are within other similar Facebook groups. And then you go from there. So it's a work in progress like anything, but if you're able to build that community prior to your launch in the US, that would be extremely helpful. And also do
Great.
collaboration with, companies that already have a product that have your niche. You're in this, but you're not competitors. Maybe offer their readers or offer their subscribers, hey, I'm about to launch this product in the US. I would love to offer your subscriber 50% discount before it comes in. So you're already engaging with communities that might be interested in your product when you launch here in the US.
Yeah. Recently, you won the Hack series, right?
Yes.
And one of this topic was about Reddit,
Yes.
building the community. And you are
Yes.
deep into AI as well, right? And you
Yes.
mentioned about the comments, responding. So do you automate all of those, with AI, or it's a mix of hybrid?
So it's a hybrid. I think nowadays, if you're not using AI, you're just you're just missing out on or you're, how could I say this? You're not using your time wisely, because I think
Yeah.
it alleviates a lot of these like mundane tasks that you have to do. So with Reddit, it's actually, you guys should like go onto my LinkedIn, and it's like a 5-minute video, and it explains exactly how it is, and it's how you get other how you get AI to talk about your product. Because right now they pull up Reddits. Like, so when AI goes and someone asks what's the best hair darkening product for men, they're going to go into Reddit AI, and they're going to see anybody that's commenting on that, because it's like an authentic thread. So there's ways that you can sort of work with Reddit and, build your communities around Reddit where your brand will come up first. But the one thing with Reddit is that like it has to be authentic, and you cannot be selling your product in there. You can't be coming in as a brand talking about, why your product is the best. It has to be other users saying that your product is the brand because they're a user of your product. So that's
Yeah.
sort of the little, how Reddit works now, and how it's being related to, ChatGPT and Claude and all these AI tools that are suggesting your product as one of the products to purchase.
Great. And I assume will all the category will work like with Reddit? Most of the sellers, they don't have anything to do with Reddit. They are not engaging on Reddit.
Yeah.
So for those sellers, what will be your advice?
Well, my advice would be, number one is you should have like a brand Reddit account, make it very simple. And you need to be in there understanding what people are asking questions. So where are your buyers? Because there's different types of categories. So you need to go in, find your category niche, and just sit there and listen to what people are saying, what people are asking. And then, start giving your opinions of what you think. You could ask questions as well, because you're going to come, but you don't come in as a brand. You'll come in as you'll create like a subreddit account, and then you'll be able to go in there and just listen. Go in, see what people are asking, see what people are talking about, and then slowly start plugging in, typical questions that people have about your brand, but as a subreddit account.
Great. That's the main point, right? Yeah. Okay. And Beatrice, you talk about brands having strong PPC spend, but flat organic growth. How do you diagnose that situation where they can't grow the organic side?
So I think there's something that I like to call the trifecta effect within brands, where you can't just have an Amazon listing. Like, you need to have a Adidas website. You need to have your creatives, which is it's the basically your storefront. And if your creatives are not up to par as what they need to be, you will lose that client that's visiting your store. So number one, your creatives always need to be top of the line, and it needs to be tested every month, because things change. So if you're not testing your creatives every single month, then you're losing out on conversions. So you're driving all this traffic to your website, and if your creatives aren't good, then you're losing sales. And with nowadays is now, TikTok has become one of the most invested platform as far as top of the funnel, where you're able to find, you didn't even know you had that problem. So that's basically what happens with TikTok. TikTok basically opens your eyes to something that you didn't even think about. So like most men that are, maybe they're on TikTok, and then they're like, hey, there's a way that you can look younger, and it's going to look natural, and it's not, it's easy to use, and you could just, wash your hair, and your hair's gradually going to darken, and you're probably going to shave off a good, 5, 6, 7 years off your life, because you're going to feel naturally younger. And men probably, they weren't even looking for that, but TikTok got them on the hook with that. And then what's going to happen? They're going to go to Amazon, and they're going to look for your brand. And if you're not on Amazon, then basically they're going to find your competitor, and they're going to buy your competitor's product. So you basically took them from TikTok to Amazon. And if you're not on Amazon, then you're going to lose that sale. So that's something that's very important, where, again, so they're going to see you on TikTok, they're going to go to Amazon, but if your listings aren't great, they're going to buy from your competitor. So this is where it all works together, and it's extremely important for you to have visibility. And especially nowadays with these two platforms, TikTok and Amazon, they work together.
So will you recommend to put a lot of effort on, first of all, Amazon will be number one as a secondary channel. For a US customer, it will be like Walmart, or then to drive traffic, it will be TikTok, Reddit, and the Reddit will have a ripple effect from AI. Is that the same framework that?
Yeah, it's exactly it. So clients are now using, AI as their Google. They're searching for products on AI. Recommend to me what is the best product for A, B, C, or D. And then you need to make sure that you have Reddit in your radar, that has your brand in your radar, because then they're going to search for that brand. They're going to go on to Amazon. That's usually where people end up buying anyways. And then if it's not on Amazon, you might lose it to a competitor, or they might go and search it on your website. So I went through my phase of doing a lot of Meta and Google advertising. So I did that, but I sort of shifted gears a bit where I'm focusing on TikTok right now, because with TikTok, that's what helps your organic search on Amazon. And Amazon, once you have all that organic traffic coming from another site into Amazon, it helps with your rankings in there as well. So outside traffic into Amazon, it's great because Amazon loves it.
Yeah, that I agree with you on that completely. And on the TikTok side, what type of framework do you normally use? Is that the influencers with less than 5,000 or 10,000 on those kind of influencers, or will you go for you know like with millions of followers? What
No,
will be depending on the
actually,
brand, I assume?
yeah,
Yeah,
actually, it's what this is the strategy that we use. It's basically the more videos that you have produced, the more chances you have of going viral. Just like
yeah,
anything, it's statistics. If I'm able to produce 1,000 videos a month, I know that out of these thousands, my chances of going viral are X%. So with TikTok, it's about sending as much samples as you can to as many creators as you can that, of course, fall within the niche that you're looking for. Because you want to find that one creator that is able to create amazing videos that works for your demographics. And it does not matter how many followings that they have. It doesn't matter how many years they've been doing this. What you want to find is dedicated creators that once they feel that they know what they're doing, and how can I say, and you could coach them and train them, you're going to help them grow within your company. And then they become like an avid follower. And you basically train them on like, look, these are the hooks. These are the videos that my competitors have been doing. This is what you need to do. So you sort of become like a coach to these creators on how to produce videos for your brand. So I think it's more about of you educating your creators and sort of building that relationship with them where, once a week you connect with all your creators and say, look, these are the promotions that we're going to have. Look, this is the competition that we're going to have within the creators. These are the types of videos you need to producing. This is what you did in your last videos that worked. This is what didn't work. So really engaging with your community and making them like your number one fans and helping them grow as a creator and teaching them, like offering them, hey, I'm going to connect you with a creator coach that's going to tell you this is what you need to do because this is what's working for everyone else. So you really engaging with your creator or affiliate community within TikTok is what's going to make a difference for how well your TikTok is going to perform and how well your videos are going to do. So I think it's about, embracing your community and helping them, grow, not only as a creator, but as they become, this is their business, so if
yeah,
you're able to help them grow, then that's, the more they grow, the more, my brand grows. So it's about really
exactly.
helping them, take it to the next level.
Yeah, I mean, it goes with the comment that you have made on LinkedIn. TikTok creates demand, Amazon captures intent. That's exact wording that you mentioned. It goes, what you just explained. And the other question that I have is, Rufus is kind of dead, but you mentioned about Rufus AI search optimization, one of the biggest Amazon shift coming into 2026. We talked about Reddit, outside of Amazon. What can sellers do within Amazon in order to optimize for the AI?
Yeah, well, now it changed, right? Because now it's Alexa.
Yeah, it's
So
Alexa. Yeah,
one of the things that they can do as well is utilizing their creatives within Alexa. So there's ways that you can, just like with Rufus, it's about, making sure that your brand shows up within Alexa. So it's understanding what people are searching for in Alexa and making sure that you have that in the descriptions of your product. And there's actually, this is one of the things that we can offer is basically an audit on your creatives and seeing if they answer the questions that most people ask inside Alexa. So usually what we'll do is like we'll pull an entire analysis of your reviews, what people complain about, what people like, or what people usually ask about it. And then with this, we're able to duplicate images that answer these questions. And that's basically what happens. So Alexa is going to like audit, it's going to go into your listing. And not only is it going to look at your descriptions, but it's going to look at the images. And within the images, it's able to answer indirectly what, people are looking for. So 100%, it's a must do. And that's why making sure that you test your images every month is important. You need to do that. Is my first image, converting the way that it's converting? Is where do I lose clients when they go to my listing? Like, what do they read that all of a sudden they log off? So like understanding, having a video of what that process is when clients go to your website. And then also, is the second image that I have on my listing the best second image? So there's all these different types of testings that most brands, they do it once. And actually that's happened to me. So
Okay.
I'll test my image once, and then I won't look at it for another 6 months, which actually you need to be doing it every single month. So that's one of the things that I think is extremely important, because just like Amazon just changed that before it was Rufus, now it's Alexa. Now you need to retest all of your images and see if it's optimized for that as well.
Great. And I have two follow-up questions on that. You mentioned about changing every month. Is there any limit, like depending on the turnover? Is that the same for the seller that makes 50,000 per month compared to 1 million per month? Is that the same frequency?
Same,
And in
same,
terms of same frequency, okay. In
same.
terms of testing, do you do A/B testing within Amazon, or is that using any third-party software?
So I use a third-party software that basically it asks for polls, polls and opinions.
Yeah.
So I do use that. Yeah.
Okay. So why not Amazon build in A/B testing compared to a third party?
Because I think you get a lot more, not just the A/B testing within Amazon. I think when you use it third party, there's other, like I said, the video testing is one of them.
Yeah.
You get to select more, like the second image. Like I think you just get a lot more. So I rather just do it with a third party as well.
Great. And I want to go back to your brand, Men First. It's listed on a men's grooming category, right? It's very competitive. And is there any specific in terms of listing optimization, the creative side, or the review strategy, or the pricing that played a big part when you launched that product?
So one of my biggest, I guess it was bottlenecks when I first launched, is I didn't know what I didn't know. So my communication of what my product was initially wasn't as good as it needed to be. So that's why with my product, I've always had like, it either works for everyone or it doesn't work for you. And the reason why is because I don't have any harsh chemicals in my product. So if your hair is naturally non-porous, because that's usually how my shampoo works, is that our hair has pores. I deposit pigments into your pores. So the more porous it is, the more it absorbs the product. So chemicals in these dyes, what do? They open up the pores so they could absorb your product. With my product, the fact that it didn't have any chemicals, then it wouldn't work on everybody as fast as everybody would want. So I would get people in my reviews like, hey, I love this product. And people are like, my God, this product sucks. It doesn't work for me. So it was me understanding that communication in the beginning that hurt me along the way, because I didn't have that. So I was always stuck with like 3.5 review because of that.
Okay.
And then once you're in, and it's so hard to get out of it. So not having the conversation up front as far as what my product was, I think it was more like, hey, it's going to work for everyone. Like, give it a shot. And not understanding that I had that before hurt me a little bit. So it's like making sure you get your marketing communication like right the first time. So that was something
Great.
that I would highly advise on as well, because it hurt me.
Yeah. You mentioned about the 3.5 stars, right? How many reviews it had at the time when you got that 3.5? Do you remember?
I don't remember, but it was
In thousands.
I had like Amazon seller's badge when I first launched.
Okay. So it should.
And then
Okay.
I think like a year, like maybe it was like 6 months in.
So,
I don't know. I think maybe 6 months in. And then I started like going after and, making sure my communication was adjusted, giving refunds, having like basically like, if it doesn't work, ship it back, full refund, like superb customer service, like inserts of how to use the product, follow-up emails on how to use the product, like just making sure that my customer service was like above and beyond.
Okay.
And but yeah, it's still been, it's still like an uphill battle with that. I'm launching other products, to supplement it, but it's a work in progress.
So that's to address that issue, the differentiation, right, that you have with your product. So you mentioned about inserting product insert with the instructions. I assume you had a video showing that same issue. And did you include that as a bullet point, or just on the
So in,
creative side?
yeah, so in my boxes, they would have a QR code that once they scan it, it would be a video and it would explain to them exactly how to use the product. And I would also have like the emails like explaining to them, hey, this is what you're using. If you're not using results, contact us and we'll give you an explanation and make it as personalized as possible. And I used to go to the I stopped doing this, but I used to even do like a personalized video to every single customer, like saying, hey, I saw you bought it, your order, blah 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 blah. Like it was like one of my customer service agent would go there and send them like a personalized video. So I used to do that as well.
Will you, going forward, will you make that into AI? You create that video, you just change the name,
Yes, I want to, but
address.
there's like so many other things that I want to create, but definitely that's like in the pipeline of AI creation for my brand.
Great. And Beatrice, you work with a lot of Brazilian and European brands, coming into US marketplace. What are the main, mistakes that they make? Like, is that the custom side or the compliance side or the market setup?
Yeah, so definitely it's like the mark like the setup here is completely different there. You need to make sure that your compliance is up to par, your bottle, your ingredients, the way that it's stated, what claims you say, what claims you can't say, the FTC, like a lot of things that you're going to go and you're going to say, use certain words like trigger words here in the US that it's going to, your listing is going to get shut down. So understanding the compliance is extremely important. Making sure that you have your supply chain in check also. So now once you're launching in the US, make sure that you're going to be able to fulfill whatever it is that you're selling here within a reasonable time, because once you lose and you run out of inventory, all that effort that you put in, like all your rankings and your marketing investments, you'll just lose all that. So making sure that you have that all like built out before you're ready to launch here is extremely important.
Great. And on the inventory side, will you stock up in FBA and use MCF? Is that the structure, or will you use a third party
So
warehouse as well?
yeah, I have a third. Yeah, for me, I do 3PL and I do FBA. So I do both of them. Like
Okay.
I'll do
And will you
usually I'll
recommend?
do my bundles FBM, and then
Okay.
I'll do FBA to my main, and then I'll do D2C through my initial product. But my bundles, I keep them in house because it's just inventory management within Amazon with bundles and kits and all that stuff. I just prefer
Okay.
to do it in house.
And will you recommend, for the sellers to use virtual bundles?
No, 100%,
Okay.
100% virtual bundles. Yeah.
And regarding MCF, will you recommend to use MCF, like, for, if they're selling on TikTok or Shopify, then link up with MCF and fulfill the order? Is that the
That could
correct, you know, action plans for the US marketplace?
Yes, that could be great, but I think that one of the most important things for TikTok is those personalized like inserts that you send out to creators. So you sort of lose that with MCF, but the fact that you have it in your 3PL, you're able to send out like a personal note. Hey,
Yeah.
excited to have you as a creator. Like you have more of that connection, than that
Yeah,
possibility
that's
of
right.
like you adding these inserts.
Yeah. So you can put 5 star, and then you need to put 5 star. You have the freedom.
Yeah,
Amazon is not gonna, behind your
right.
back, right? Yeah. And in terms of, a lot of European seller are still hesitant to go to the US marketplace. So what will be your advice to them?
So first of all, do like an Amazon market fit and see, who your competitors are, understand how much it's possible in that space. You start that by doing like keyword research, how people are looking for your product, how much investment I would need to do to, break even. So understand what your financial model looks like. And then once you have that in check, understand what the compliance is, understand your supply chain. And then once you're ready to go, it's It's, picking 3 products, your best sellers, and then starting from that. And then not sending in, 10,000 units here, just baby steps towards that.
Yeah.
But nowadays with like all the tools available, you're able to understand what the market looks like and what your opportunity is in there. And then, but your product needs to have some sort of differentiate of what your competitors are, just to make it easy. Like for instance, my product, it's like we are hypoallergenic. We are dermatologist tested. So there's no product out there that has those claims within my, hair dye segment. So really find out what makes your product different than what are other there. Maybe it's your price. Maybe you can sell the same product cheaper than everyone else can. So it's just understanding what your niche is and going, 100% in that.
Great. And my last question is that there are a lot of AI things going on everywhere. There's some hacks or some kind of workflow that's been automated. What's your favorite automation in terms of, maybe you're using Claude, I assume. So is there any specific thing that you like a lot, or do you want to share with the community?
Sure. I'm actually doing one right now. I'm revamping my site. So I'm working with a team of developers that are redoing my menfirst.com site. And then I'll just run Claude on it all the time. And I'm like, things that I wouldn't know I needed to look at. And then I'm like, okay, this is the site that I really like. What are they doing? And how can I apply it to my website? And then it'll just give me an entire like audit. And then send it to my developer will develop the site. And then I'm like, okay, so now is this site optimized for AEO? Like, how are my conversions on this? What are things? Are my images like little things that you wouldn't know because you're not a developer? Now I have like a full report sending it to my developer. I'm like, look, you still haven't fixed this. This needs to be fixed. So I think it's sort of that type of AI tool that I've been using that I love.
Great. Beatrice, it's been nice to chat with you, and thanks a lot for sharing all this, nice response to that. So for the viewers, where can they find you? And do you offer any like a free discovery call or anything like that?
Sure. Yeah. You can reach out to me at info@ecomtherapy.com. I'll share that link. And then I'm sort of like a world of resource. So like, let's suppose that, hey, I need help with my TikTok. I'm going to be like, look, I'm going to connect you with this agency that's been doing this for me and it's been helping me tremendous. I need help with my creatives. I'm like, oh, I'm going to connect you with this person. Oh, I need help in supply chain management. I'm going to be like, okay, you need to reach out to this person. So I'm like a book of resources where I've been through it all as a brand. So I'll be able to like guide you in the right direction. And I would love, I love helping brands and entrepreneurs that are looking to launch here in the US. I'm also very active in the e-com event space as well, and very active in women's e-com community. So I usually organize, monthly events for women. So if you're in the e-com here in the US, please reach out to me as well. And I'll sort of say, look, there's a organization here, or there's an event going on here, or we're having something in Florida now, we have something in Vegas the following month. So as far as like events, D2C events for Amazon, I also have, tons of information on that. So I'm super open to helping, business owners that are looking to launch here in the US, either from abroad or here locally. And basically that's pretty much it.
Great. So what I will do, I will put the profile and the website link in the show notes. So please do check it out. And the women's community again, I will share that link as well. I'll put in the show notes. Again, thanks a lot, Beatrice, for sharing all this information. Appreciate that.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Sebastian. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.